What is it? Here we go. Aha, there we are. And we'll get the timer going.
You should probably say hello first.
Hello. It is I, Traben, host of Traben's Tomes, a booktube channel. Alrighty. And we are here tonight to be doing some reading sprints at not our usual time or day, actually.
We've done it on Friday before.
Despite what we literally told people last week.
Yeah.
Because plans change, but I still want to do reading sprints. So...
What a weird booktuber. You actually want to read?
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
Absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm Traben. I host a booktube channel, mostly do reviews and like wrap-up videos and things like that. I don't know, I do some...
Wrap-ups are basically just reviews.
Wrap-ups are basically just reviews. I like talking about books. I like reading books and talking about them. It's my jam. So, and with me is...
Hi, I'm Amanda. My channel is Amanda Should Be Reading, also a booktube channel.
Uh-huh.
I do mostly nonsense.
Uh-huh.
I did a couple vlogs. I've done a vlog now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to try to do some more vlogs, some more tags.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out, I want to do some reviews, but I don't know how exactly I want to go about that. If I just want to vibe it and just like ramble, or if I want those to be a bit more prepared and scripted.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting a ever increasing length of books that I want to review that I'm finishing, that I really need to sit down and review before I forget everything about them.
For what it's worth, rambling has worked for me so far. I don't really plan out my reviews. I just go into it.
Okay, but the one review I filmed where I just rambled, I have over an hour of footage.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's going to work for me. I am a yapper.
Rachel Reed's had a 5-hour rant on Onyx Storm.
Okay, but Rachel Reed's has the audience who will support a 5-hour rant. And, like, I do not.
Get in the comments. Would you support a 5-hour rant from Amanda? Let us know.
My 75 subscribers probably wouldn't care for that.
Okay.
If I had 100 times that, yeah, I would 100% just throw up a 5-hour video. But I do not, so I know my lane.
Okay.
I do not yet have the clout to be throwing up 5-hour long videos.
All right. Before we start tonight, I guess we'll get into like what are we reading right now. I put in the description that I was probably going to be listening to the audiobook of Dune, but I'm actually not going to do that because I thought we were doing this like tomorrow, and so I don't know. So you
want to get through that one first?
Yeah, I'm reading through. The Rose Bargain, which is my second to last Fairy Loot book.
Until
to catch
you get
up.
Another box.
Yes, but if I read this one, so the plan was to read this one and then over the weekend start the very last one. So by the end of the month, I'll be caught up, and then it's just every time I get a box, I could read that. That'll be one read for the month instead of 11 reads over January and February, which is what I did.
Yeah.
So this is a story about a world in which...
Is it the story of a girl?
It is.
Who cried a river and drowned the whole world?
No. So it's a story about a like alternate universe England where a fairy queen basically tricked a king into thinking that he was going to be tricked someone into thinking they're going to be crowned king, and then like he immediately died afterwards so that she could be crowned queen, like eternal queen over England.
Okay.
And now she is having these 6 girls vie for her son's hand in marriage. And so like everybody when they come of age in this world, men and women.
Bachelor?
Yeah, it definitely gives you those vibes.
Especially with roses, like...
Yeah.
So why The Bachelor?
Yeah. It definitely gives you those vibes. Everybody when they come of age, boy or girl, makes a bargain with the queen. And that's your rose bargain. And they get something in exchange for... They get something good in exchange for something bad. and like some of them are really silly. One girl like gets nicer teeth and a prettier face, but now she doesn't have fingernails. One girl, I can't remember what she got, but she can no longer turn left. She can, or she can't turn right. One of those directions. So she has to like constantly be like spinning in circles to get
make three turns
to get places. They had to go through a maze.
Oh no!
Yeah, she got wrecked in the maze.
I'll bet.
Because she couldn't go in.
Unless the answer to the maze is only turn this one direction and never make a mistake, then she'd be fine.
Yeah, and some, like I said, some of them are insane. There's some that are later that I think are spoilers, but like it definitely seems that what you get is proportional to what happens to you, and they tend to be things that either don't super matter. Like people are like, yeah, it's kind of like it's somewhat inconvenient. I can't smell flowers anymore. Like, oh well. But now I'm like really good at playing the piano or something like that. But the ones that make like really big bargains
lose something really important.
They get really bad things happen to them. Like I said, I think it would be a spoiler to talk about the character we just met. But it's more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, for sure. Because, you know, it is just a YA. It's a YA romantasy with like the romance at the fore.
Yeah.
I think that makes
this is not a like fantasy story with a romance subplot. This is a romance story in a fantasy setting.
With like fantasy like
in a fantasy setting, yeah.
Which I think makes it better for me, because it's not like, I don't feel like the world building is being detracted from, because we have to like they could make such a richer world if they weren't focusing on this romance. It's more like, this is definitely a romance, and it's fine that the actual like world building is fairly thin. They don't really deal with it much.
Yeah.
And we're also stuck kind of in the idea of like, a woman and a man can't be together alone. That's very scandalous. We have that kind of, I want to say Victorian, but I'm sure that's not actually the right era, because we always say Victorian. But that idea
the
of
very
like,
just traditional gender roles and like courting rituals.
Yeah, and they have like
very strict courting.
They have, what do you call them? Like the ladies who watch over them. It's not important. It really isn't. This is not. We don't need to be losing our mind over this.
What is it called when you go to prom and you're doing that
chaperone?
Thing? Chaperones.
Okay, yeah, they have chaperones. All right. So what is
That's the word.
What is it that you're reading?
I am reading. I don't know. Well, probably. I need to finish watching TV with a linguist. This is a book of articles about linguistics through the lens of television. So I haven't lost anything by stopping it. Like, it's been sitting for over a month. Mm-hmm. I haven't lost anything by stopping it, because each chapter is completely self-contained. I did stop a little bit into a chapter, but if I need to restart that chapter, it's not a big deal. It's not like having to it's not like I stopped in the middle of a long novel and I'm like, oh, now I don't remember who's who or what we were doing or what the plot was. Mm-hmm. Like, each one of these is self-contained. Mm-hmm. So this won't be too hard to pick up. It's just the chapters are very hit and miss, and it can be very dry.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm in the mood to plow through it right now. Mm-hmm. So instead, I think my next book I'm going to try to check off from my 25 or 25 is Stars of Chaos, which is a Don May novel that is steampunk.
Okay. Which
this would be my first Don May. I picked it up because of the steampunk theming. It was the last book I bought last year.
Okay. Do you want to explain what Don May is?
Don May is Chinese novels with male love interests.
Okay.
It's gay Chinese love stories.
Yeah.
This one is,
excuse me.
Like I said, this one has steampunk elements, which there's two things I really want to, well, three reasons I really want to read this one. One, I was recently looking at all of the steampunk books on my shelf, mm-hmm. and how I have a lot of them that I haven't read.
Right. We were talking about that.
I was kind of like, wow, I really kind of want to read these now that I've been looking at them. Mm-hmm. And this one also has steampunk elements. I keep going to the bookstores and seeing the Don May novels and being like, oh, I want to buy another Don May novel, but I'm really trying to be good and to not purchase more Don May novels until I've read my Don May novels. Mm-hmm. At least, like, if I buy a new series, I want to at least read the first one before I buy a new series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once I read this one, I think I could buy volume 2 in this one and another new series.
Right.
But I don't want to buy, like, 4 other series before I read this one at all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to, because I'm bad at this with manga. I'm really bad at picking up first volumes.
Okay.
And then occasionally second and third volumes in series I haven't read yet.
Mm.
And just kind of piling up the physical TBR and not actually making my way through it.
Yeah.
But it's getting annoying because I can't, because of the self-imposed ban, I can't buy another one. And every time I go to the store, I look at them and I'm like, ooh, but that one sounds interesting. And so does this one.
Mm.
And oh, I'd really like to see how that one goes. And I've heard a lot about this one.
Mm.
So I'm kind of like, okay, well, if I force myself to actually read through this one, I can potentially buy another one. And then I have to read that one to buy another one.
I feel like I have that issue with book series, but not so much with manga. I feel like if I pick up a new manga issue, I get through it. Like,
well, my other issue,
for the ones I'm reading.
My other issue with manga is manga does tend to read better several volumes at a time.
That is true.
So in my head, I'll be like I specifically did not read the 2 volumes of Blue Lock I had because it didn't end at a satisfying place. I like flipped ahead to see like what the final shot was, and realizing it wasn't the end of the game, I was like, no, I'm not reading 2 volumes to not get to the end of this half of soccer. I'll wait till the next one comes out.
Yeah.
So now I have 3 volumes of Blue Lock I haven't read. But I like Blue Lock. I'm going to read them. I'm not worried about that. At least those are like volumes, like they're in like the late teens. I already know I like the series. But I'm really bad at buying first volumes when I see them and they come out, and then just being like, oh, I'll read that later. And then I just don't.
There's one...
And our bookshelves will attest to the amount of series I have bought the first book of and not read.
Yeah. So Kaiju number 8, I feel like I need to read again from a certain point where it started like opening up a
new
little
arc,
more.
Starting at a certain arc.
Yeah, and then also I definitely need to do that for Go Go Loser Ranger because that one is incredibly complicated with so many characters and the relationships between them that like picking up a new one, I'll read it and I'll be like, okay, I kind of remember what was going on.
And like a lot of times,
as a set.
A lot of times with the recent Batman Justice Buster manga, like I read the first volume and then I bought the second volume. I read the first volume again and read the second volume, and then when I got the third volume, I think I read at least the second one again. I might have read all 3 of them again. And I feel like sometimes when I am really into a series like that one, I'll reread those first couple volumes multiple times because it's not that big of a time commitment to reread a first volume before you read a second volume. It's not like I'm on volume 10 and I'm like, oh, I should reread the first 10 before I read 11. If I get 11, I might be like, maybe I should reread 10 just to get myself back into things and remembering where we were and what was important. Oh, and the last reason that this one has been kind of on my mind was Gavin from Gavin Reads It All recently posted his vlog for his visit to China. And so I was kind of seeing all the sights from over there, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really putting me in the mood to read Midame.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things in favor of this one. And the other thing, I was looking at my shelf. I'm really trying to get through my 25 for 25, and the impulse was there to pick an easy book. Like I have like 2 more, I think, that are shorter than the others. And this one is not it. But I was like, I don't want to front load all of the short ones and leave only longer ones. Yeah. I think I'll feel better if I just get into one of the heavier ones to try to get through it, because this one is about 450 pages.
Did you do all novels for your 25 for 2025?
Yes.
Okay, how's it going?
Bad.
Like, how bad?
I've read 3 and a half.
Okay. That one's one as well? Okay.
I've read 3 and a half, so if I finish these 2, my thought was to do, I've been doing vlog updates that are just sitting because I haven't read. And I still need to update for the last book I read, which I haven't filmed an update for yet. But my thought was to do them in groups of 5 to spread out. I didn't want to do one long vlog of reading 25 books, but I thought 5 vlogs of reading 5 books would be good. But it's April. It's almost the end of April. And I haven't even read 5 books yet. Yeah. So I really want to try to finish these 2 so I can get that vlog up and maybe plan out some TBRs a little better in the coming months to really try to pick up the pace and see if I can't I might not finish my 25 for 25, but at least make some better progress on it.
No, I didn't put. I put. I didn't put all.
Oh no, I'm aware.
Books.
No, you, which is silly because you easily could have read 25 books. You will read 70, 80 books this year, no problem.
Yeah, but I've got other stuff I want to read. I got book series I'm looking at. Got other stuff going on.
Then just put those on your 25 for 25.
Maybe I will. All right. Please, in the comments, let us know what you're reading. Even if you're watching like the VOD later, we want to know what were you reading as you're watching us, as you're watching these sprints. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and get started today, and we'll see what we can get through. I'm on page 150 or 2 something. On page 246 of this book, and it's about 400 pages, so I want to at least break through 300 today and hopefully get within striking distance of finishing it up. How's that going for you?
Great.
Yeah, that was one of the challenges they had to do in my book.
Oh, they had to balance books on their head? They have to walk with a poise test?
Yeah. They added books every time they went around. Alrighty. Alright, let's put up the sprints.
Enjoy your reading. Get stuff done.
you. And we're back. Let me get the timer going for our break. Oop, not that one. We'll do one more sprint after this break, and then we'll kind of wrap up and chat about what we're going to do next time. Alrighty. How did your reading go?
I got to page 29.
29, okay. It's pretty good.
I'm reading very slowly because, like, I know there's a little bit of pronunciation guide in the back. Very little.
Okay.
But one of the things it does give you is how to pronounce the main character's name.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time I get to it, I have to stop and try to train myself the correct vowels. Because it's spelled like Chang, but it's pronounced Chong, like Ong. And then Geng, and it's Gung, like Ung is in sun. But my brain doesn't read it that way initially.
Right.
And I'd like to not just skip over it and continually mispronounce the name forever when I know differently. There's so many words in this book I'm probably pronouncing wrong. So this one that I have the correct pronunciation for, I want to try to get his name right, so that when I eventually discuss the book, I'm not very ignorantly saying his name wrong constantly.
Yeah.
So I am reading a little slower because my brain is trying to say Chong Gung instead of Cheng Gang. So I am trying to slow down and read his name correctly. Not much has happened. We've introduced a couple characters, but very little has happened in the way of plot. The prologue of this book is 100 pages long.
Yeah, you were telling me.
So I think it did say there are 3. Yeah, there's the prologue, Arc 1, Arc 2, Arc 3, and Arc 4.
Okay.
And honestly, calling it prologue is probably kind of a misnomer. I don't know if there will be a time skip at the end of the prologue or something that really sets it off from the other parts.
Yeah.
But it just seems like this is just part 1.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, feel free to put in the comments, what are you reading? How did you do? What's going on in your book?
I do like that there are some pretty illustrations.
Yeah.
Which are kind of nice. So, I'm enjoying that. And like I said, not a lot happened. We've introduced some characters. The book makes good use of footnotes. So, like, there was a part where someone was playing an instrument, a flute-like instrument, badly. And one of the characters commented, like, "Oh, are you trying to make us pee?" And I was like, "What?" And there's a footnote that explains, and I did know about this, but I had forgotten, that there is a common traditional Chinese potty training method where you basically condition your child to pee at the sound of a whistle.
Sure.
To potty train them.
Right.
And I didn't know that was a thing, but I had forgotten.
Yeah.
And so when he's playing this flute badly, the other character is basically just like evoking that whistle that is used to potty train children. And so I'm very happy that this book does make good use of footnotes, because I've read at least one, maybe more, translations from Japanese that I wish had used footnotes. The Detective is Already Dead, the light novel for that, there were at least 2 or 3 points. There's a joke that makes no sense in English that I'm like, no, they needed to explain that, because that's funny, because I understood it because I know enough Japanese. I was like, they should have put a footnote here to explain the joke, because it's clearly a joke, but it makes no sense in English, and they made no attempt to explain that. And so I do wish more translated works, especially with this being historical. There are a lot of things in here that your average Western reader especially isn't going to be familiar with.
Yeah, I remember that's why I enjoyed a lot of the Yen Press releases, because they would have back matter that would explain all the different...
And manga does a pretty good job with that. I feel like it's been pretty established for a long time to put back matter or little notes if there's a reference that they don't think people will get.
The Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated manga has like exhaustive notes about like what every card that appears is.
Well, and especially since that one is set in the past.
It's set in the late 90s.
Even if you're appealing to current Magic players, they might not know those cards. So that makes sense.
It also has references to like pop culture at the time. A lot of very obvious.
The Japanese readers would catch, but
we're set in the 90s. Like they make a lot of references and say things that feel a little bit like unnatural, but it's because they're like, yeah, we're definitely in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, they're like wink wink, like appealing to nostalgia. A lot's happened in my book. It got rather intense. The stakes have been raised quite badly, and I wish I could talk about it, but I feel
anything you say at this point would be a spoiler. Yeah,
I just feel like I'm 3/4 of the way through the book, and I think it would be mean to be like, oh yeah, and this is what's happening toward the end, but we're definitely approaching. Why am I yawning so much? We're normally up later than this.
Yeah, but you were up later last night than you normally are.
We're definitely approaching the end game here because something has happened to where the queen's like, yeah, we're gonna make the decision like
I'm done with this
in a couple of days, right? So
the other thing I've heard about Donmei is that it does have, because it is a completely different culture, there is a very different style that you kind of have to get used to as a Western reader.
Okay.
That it's not going to read like your typical Western novel, right?
Yeah.
So there's like, which I feel is like it's very slow at the beginning. Also, a lot of these are published online. Basically like one chapter at a time online, I believe. I don't know if this is one of them, but I do know a lot of the Donmei are published online first.
Yeah.
And just like webcomics read different from, like Western webcomics read differently from standard floppy comics. Obviously, a novel written to be published chapter by chapter on the internet is going to read differently than a novel initially published in a book, quite likely.
Yeah.
Different standards are going to develop, different traditions in the terms of like that audience, but that the writers will fall into because that's the standards for the genre they're writing. Yeah. And so it's just like reading any new genre to you. Like you just kind of have to get into the genre conventions. And I do feel that like nothing has happened. It's very slow at the start. We're meeting characters. It definitely feels like we're in like if this is a hero's journey, we're in that like establishing of the day to day. And I don't want to say it's boring because it's not, but it is one of those that I'm like, okay, how many of these characters are going to be important?
Yeah. Because
we've met 5 people so far, one of whom I know is the main character.
Okay.
But there were 2 who were just some 10-year-olds. I have no idea if those characters are going to continue to be important.
Yeah. Well, and it's also just like, it could be a cultural thing, like you were saying. Like, when I was reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold, that was not a writing style that I particularly cared for, and I feel like it's largely because of the conventions or expectations of the Japanese writing.
See, and I like the Japanese writing style.
That's fine. But it is different.
But this one, we've focused a lot on backstory. So we're trying to kind of explain who these people are and how they're related. Very front-loading, that kind of stuff. So, not much has happened. I haven't learned very much about any of these characters, even. It is interesting because one of the very first things our main character... He meets a little boy who is described as very round, and he's the butcher's son.
Okay.
And the main character makes a comment in his head that, like, the butcher must have been born with, like, eagle-eyed eyesight to have avoided slaughtering his own son. Basically implying that his son looks like a pig.
Wow.
But then it immediately says that he is courteous, so he would never say something like that out loud.
Sure.
And I'm like, that's a really interesting form of character building because it shows that he isn't kind. He has this thought. He has this very mean thought, but he's courteous, which is different than being kind. Like, it doesn't spell that out, but I thought it was a very interesting thing to have the character think that, and then to point out that he is just specifically not saying it because he is courteous. And, you know, being courteous is not the same thing as being a kind person.
Yeah.
Not saying all the horrible things you're thinking is not the same as not thinking those things. So I thought that was interesting. And he's a child. He's like 14 at this point. So it's hard to be too hard on him because he is still like a kid. So it's hard to like see that as being like a condemning thing. Like, oh, this guy's really not nice and I don't want to... He's not a good character or whatever. Because he is a kid. He's 14. Talking about his peer, a 10-year-old. And it even points out that like at that age, it's really hard... that even 1 year of difference among the kids makes a big difference at that age. And so he's having a hard time relating to the younger kids. So I definitely can see that as being something that's just trying to form that gap. And like isolating him in terms of why he doesn't get on with the other children. But I did think it was a very interesting first interaction for us to have as the main character. Was him being courteous, but still having this fairly rude thought about another child.
Yeah.
There was also a character in here, and I have no idea if he's going to be important later, but the other little boy who was hanging out was... He is a boy, but he's dressed as a girl, and his milk name, his like name before he gets his real name, it's basically Lady. Because at a very young age, a fortune teller decreed that he should have been born a girl, and that the gods might recall him to recast him in the correct, because he had been reincarnated as the wrong gender. The gods might recall him in order to recast him into the proper gender for his fate. So that's why his parents have named him Lady, as like trying to trick the gods to like protect him. And they dress him as a girl and have raised him as a girl.
Okay.
So I think that's very strange. And I'm very interested in, like, is this just a throwaway character that we just wanted to throw in some, like, here's some weird stuff that happens in poor towns. Here's a really strange character with a really weird backstory of this, like, fortune teller. But I have no idea if this character is going to be important later on. So I just thought it was interesting.
We did have another one of the one-off chapters from another character's perspective, and more so than ever, it feels like I don't know what the point of that is.
Yeah.
Considering what happens afterwards, it made it almost completely pointless to hear that character, like to get that character's point of view. I just don't see what those are adding to the story.
Do you think it's just that multi-POV books are like in vogue or fairly popular, so they wanted to add that element?
I don't know.
Or that maybe...
Are they popular? Because like I've read a lot of really bad ones.
Well, that doesn't. Problem. Well, that's why is because for a while, like with Six of Crows and a couple other books, I think that had multiple POV and were widely successful, you got a lot of books aping that, and unfortunately, it's hard enough to tell one POV successfully. It takes a very skilled writer to tell multiple POVs that have them be consistent and not all sound the same. And a lot of writers do it badly. But I do think that there was at least a very solid amount of time where that was very popular for YA books, that multiple POV. And some people really don't like multi-POV.
I feel like Six of Crows did it well. I feel like it was either Six of Crows or Gilded Wolves that one of the YouTubers I was watching was really, like, giving them a hard time because they're like, oh, if you have multiple POV and there's a traitor character in your story and there's one character we're not getting a POV from, I've figured out who the traitor is.
It's Gilded Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were also mentioning...
Yeah, it's Gilded Wolves.
Well, a similar thing happens in... is it Tempest of Tea?
Yes.
That's
That's the title of that book.
Yeah. Um,
That's the title of a book. I don't know if it's the book you're thinking of.
That is it. The one that was like Six of Crows-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also happens there. And so like while the writing for while the writing for those was not the detracting point, it still was like plot wise maybe not the best choice to try to have a.
Do you think there was like one section that the author really wanted to tell from that POV and they needed a way to justify that one chapter, so they decided to add in the other ones so that it was like a through line?
Maybe.
Was there one that was maybe more successful than the others, or?
No, they've all been kind of like, they give you like a glimpse into other characters' perspectives, but because it's like dominantly one character story, it just seems like, what's the point? And a lot of the things they establish with the one-off chapters are reaffirmed in later chapters anyway. So I just don't see what the point is.
Do you think it was maybe something that in an earlier draft they were maybe thinking about doing?
I don't know.
Multi-POVs and then abandoned it?
Maybe. I just also don't think it's not a story that really needs that.
Yeah, well that's why I'm saying maybe in an earlier draft.
Yeah.
They had it as multi-POV, so maybe you didn't know whose story it was.
Yeah.
Maybe in the original concept was who's gonna win the heart.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's one character, but they wanted to keep that. Maybe they really liked that aspect and wanted to keep part of it in, even though, like you say, maybe it doesn't serve the current novel as it sits.
Yeah. So this will be our last sprint for tonight because the camera will die if we try to push it much farther. So another 45 minutes and then we'll call it a night. And again, I'm definitely going to get to where I wanted to. I'm on page 290. So
I had no goals other than to get things read. So
well, success,
I can only
then.
succeed. I can only succeed.
Yep. All right. We'll switch over to reading.
Enjoy your reading.
All right, we're back. Last break. We'll just chat about what we read and then talk about next week. What are we going to do? All right. So, my book is getting to the point where it's like, I should just finish reading the book. I'm on like 330 out of 400, and it's basically just like we're in the last bits of the book. I'm real tempted to just finish it, but I don't know how late I want to stay up tonight because we've got
soccer game
in the morning. So, yeah, we shall see. But we're moving toward this ending where certain things that have been kind of set in place or like, you know, teased at the beginning of the book, toward the beginning of the book, are starting to pay off. I'm in another one of the one-off chapters, but this one is for not one of the girls, but for another character. So that's been interesting.
What's your gut star rating so far?
I mean, almost. That's probably gonna be a 3.
Still a 3.
Yeah, still okay. But like I said, I enjoyed it more than I thought it was going to.
You just made it seem like this one was slightly better than a lot of the others, so I wasn't sure.
Like, I enjoy it more for not for just being straightforward romance, but I didn't really buy the main. So it's like many romances, we're creating like a love triangle, right? Mm-hmm. Where like one character, one of the princes loves her, but she loves the other prince, and the other prince loves her, and so. But like the relationship that she's gonna end up with, I don't see why it's any more special or different than like they're really pushing that they truly love each other, and I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah. I
don't understand why.
Because this is the saddest pop socket I think I've ever seen. It's one pop. Need to put the Catwoman sticker on it.
Okay. How's your book going?
I'm on page 50. We've introduced almost immediately after I stopped at the last sprint. Mm-hmm. There was intrigue and questions and like things that made you go, ooh, there's more I don't know here about these characters. There's something interesting going on that I haven't.
And was there something interesting going on?
I don't know yet. We haven't revealed it yet.
Okay.
We've just introduced intrigue of like that characters are clearly keeping things from other characters. Mm-hmm. There's an amusing character. The main character's godfather is described as being half blind and half deaf, but it's clear that he is more deaf when convenient.
Oh, okay.
So when someone is saying something he doesn't want to hear, he just ignores them. Mm-hmm. And is like, "What? I can't hear you." But it's clear because he'll interrupt other people. Mm-hmm. So it's clear, or he'll make a comment about, he'll be like, I can't hear you, and then he'll be like, make a comment about what they just said later. Mm-hmm. So it's clear that he is like, and other characters have picked up on this, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the main character is like, being half deaf seems awfully convenient for him. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that this is like, it's clear that he does have some hearing problems, like that it's not completely faked,
right?
But that he is exaggerating it when convenient.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting, and it just is amusing because he chooses to ignore his brother or his godson when convenient. He just ignores what they say and does what he wants. Like, his brother was like, make sure you come back early to chop the firewood. And he's like, can't hear you, sorry, bye.
Yeah, classic. So, I guess, like, we don't have a whole lot of time.
We're running out of time.
Because of battery issues. But, so let's talk about what we're doing next week. So, as you can see down here, down there in the corner. Next week, we'll be playing Athenium and possibly doing some by the book stuff. So let's talk briefly about what these games are, so people know what's coming up. So next week we'll be doing Athenium Mystic Libraries. This is a game in which you are arranging your bookshelves, and you have different tasks to perform. So we'll have to be. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't think we've ever read the rules, but I'm excited.
I might have read the rules once,
and I'm looking forward to it and to check it out. So we're playing a 2-player game of that, and then you have By the Book. Which is less a game and more of an activity, right? But
it's a 1-player game.
Yeah.
It's a little dexterity game where you have these little book pieces. I'm so far away from the camera, I don't know what this is.
Give me.
I'm just going to give you the box.
Just give me the box. Yeah, don't close it. Just give me the box.
Jason over at Easy Cat did a little short about this game, and I immediately bought it. So you have these little books, and they're all labeled, and you take a puzzle card, and the puzzle card tells you like what you need to stack to make your bookcase. Mm-hmm. And so then you have to like create a bookcase out of the books that you chose, the book that it tells you. And sometimes it'll have more restrictions, like so many have to be on their side, so many have to be this way.
Sometimes you have to include the little cat.
You have to include the cat. And there's a level in it that it has to be level. It's a little planter.
Little planter.
That's and that helps you determine if your bookshelf is level. Which I thought was really cute that they built that into the game in the cute little piece.
Boop, boop, boop.
So there are apparently 40 challenges. And I showed the short to my daughter, and she thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
She is 8, and the game is listed as 8+. So I thought it might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked that up recently. So
there's what a card looks like. It's like get E, F, and L on there with the cat. No other restrictions. Just do these things. And that's the beginning. And they'll get progressively harder.
So
yeah.
I like dexterity games. I like things that are themed around books. And it wasn't, for as nice as the pieces are, it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
So it was an easy pickup. And it'll look cute even if I decide to take this out of the box and just display it on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll be cute. So even after I've done the puzzles, and this is a game you can come back to every couple months, you're not going to remember how did I do puzzle 37 versus how did I do puzzle 39. Like, you're probably not going to remember how you did them. Yeah. So it has a lot of replay, and like I said, my kids will get something out of this.
So between now and next week, we should probably play at least one game of Athenium.
So that we're not going in blind.
Yeah, so we're not going in blind. And
you don't want to be bumbling fools on our live stream?
No, I think we've done that enough times.
What?
Most of the pen and paper RPGs were just like, let's just go.
The problem is though, is most games you're going to play at least a couple rules wrong the first time you play.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Like, what was the one that wasn't Castle Panic? Dead Panic?
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you the number of rules my friends and I did wrong. Every time we played that game, we realized another rule we had been doing wrong that had made the game harder.
Guys, just can't help but notice, but that's not what it says here.
Yeah, we'd look something up and be like, how does that work? And we'd look that up and go, oh, that's not how it works at all. Mm-hmm. We misread that. Mm-hmm. And we had actually made the game much harder to the point that when we started doing things right, it wasn't as much fun.
Yeah, I remember Dead Panic not being as fun for me as Castle Panic.
Yeah.
Because I think it was easier. You had a lot more material to work with.
But the way we started playing it when everything was on hard mode was actually pretty fun. So I think we actually house rolled a couple of our mistakes into like, no, that was actually better. We're going to leave it that way.
Yeah. So that'll be next week. And then the week after, more reading sprints. I am thinking about picking up, there are several of these, like, kind of choose-your-own-adventure style, like, adventure books where you like do RPG stuff with it.
Like the one I have, or like the ones from Van Ryder Games, or
maybe
like the one I told you I had.
Yeah.
That I just don't know where it is.
Yeah. Like, I know Easy Cat did a
is
video.
Is it in here? I bet it is.
I know Easy Cat did a video.
Yeah, it's right there.
As well. Take a look at it. There was a horror one that I had sent you recently. It's like make your own slasher, which sounded kind of cool. But I'm planning on grabbing one of those and one of these days doing a live stream of that. And then, once summer starts, I'll have a lot more time to do things like that. We'll do more than one. I'll do more than one a week. But that's the plan for the foreseeable future, next couple of weeks. And it might be like this week where we have to change the date, shift it a little bit because of scheduling. But we do try to come on at least once a week and do something that is book related. So look forward to those. Anything else you wanted to say before we kind of sign off?
You should check out our videos wrapping up our March Madness TBR.
Yeah.
We posted our wrap-ups this week, finally.
So we picked each other's TBR for March, called it March Madness, and so I picked out 9 books for you, and you picked out 9 books for me, and we just recently uploaded our look back at the process.
So our thoughts on the different books that were picked, and
we both finished, which was good.
Yeah.
So
and. So we just posted our wrap-ups. We are completely on accident wearing the exact same outfits in the wrap-up as we were when we filmed the TBR.
A month apart.
Which I cannot explain how that happened. I do have a set of bookish shirts that I prioritize for when I'm filming. If one of those is clean, I will grab one of those. And the one I'm wearing is one of my favorites. Purple's my favorite color, so I picked up that shirt both times because it was clean. But your shirt has nothing to do with books.
I was wearing a Baby Metal shirt, yeah.
That you just happened to be wearing for both videos.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went to edit the thumbnail for the second video that I was like, why does this look so familiar? And I looked at the old thumbnail. I was like, am I wearing the same shirt? And I was like, oh God, I am. And so is he! And I was like, people are going to think we cheated and filmed them back to back. But I mean, if I had done that, I'd have had the second video up much sooner.
Yeah, we wouldn't have waited till halfway through the month.
It would have been ready at the beginning of April to show how on top of things I was. But I was just, in my note, I was like, I swear we do own other clothing.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Oh, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, but definitely check those out. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and we banter a lot. So if you enjoy watching us banter, you can see us do that about books.
Yeah. Anything else? I can't think of anything else.
No.
I got some other ideas, but nothing's really materialized yet. So, we'll just sign off for now. As always, I hope your reading journey is going well. Please remember to comment, subscribe.
Feed the YouTube algorithm.
Help us grow this corner of our BookTube community. And until the next time.
The algorithm, it hungers.
Take care.
Bye.